So I'm not sure whether it's evening. I know it's evening for Kay. I know it's afternoon for me, or early evening even. Good, good, good. Whatever. Good day. I'll do what the Australians do. Good day, everybody. We are cracking up, and Kay and I have been cracking up for the last hour. As a matter of fact. What do I mean by cracking up? Well, it's a British thing, I think. Although I'm sure that other countries, anyone who wants to disagree with me, come on in, give the chat, put it in the chat. But cracking up for us means when we are laughing so hard that we just crack up. We just get a little bit out of control. I mean, we're just remembering when a friend of ours, who shall be nameless, but I remember when all the Brits came over to visit me when I was in Vermont, and we were laughing. We might have had a little tipple, but we were laughing, and we started laughing so hard that one of my friends literally standing in the lower hallway actually peed her pants. It was just, she could not control herself. Do you remember,
Oh,
Kay? It was quite a
yes.
waterfall. And we just kept laughing and laughing. She was mortified, but she was laughing at the same time. So that is what cracking up means. It means having fun, having a laugh, enjoying yourselves,
Sitting
and
on the
so on.
floor.
So all right. So, for the first thing I'd like to do, of course, is to say hello to Gregel, who, as always, is standing to my right side, and I'd like to say hi to Kay. It's good evening there in England for you, Kay, right?
Yes, it is. It's about 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So, anyway, so we thought, we try to think of subjects that not that it matters really, because we just get going and then we forget the subject that we're supposed to be talking about. But we were talking earlier on, excuse me, and Kay was telling me all about her aches and pains and how she's getting older, and my back has been out so badly, probably for the last 10 days. So it's a good topic for me. But we decided that the topic would be mind over matter. Can we use our mind to control our matter? Can we use the mind to control matter? Namely, can we use our mind? When you get up in the morning and well, maybe not for any of you out there, but for me, when I get up in the morning when my back is out, I get up, but then I'm bent over. My grandson and my daughter have been here for the last 2 weeks, and he has taken every opportunity. Reese has taken every opportunity to remind me that I'm an old lady. I'm an old lady. And he looked at me the other day and he said to me, Mosey, are you crying? Or is it just that you're old?
Oh, that's cruel.
He's always so funny. He's funny. He's a funny kid. Anyway, when I get out of bed, I'm sort of crooked for a while, and then after I take some steps, I start to straighten up a little bit. But I'm sitting here, and I'm feeling the pain, people. I'm feeling the pain. But you see, my mind says, no, we've got a show to do. We've got cracking up. It's important. We want to do this. And I always like to take the opportunity to talk with Kay. So you put aside the aches and pains. Is that mind over matter? You
Yeah.
put aside the pain, and then once the show is over, then I'll try very hard not to moan and groan and creak and all the rest of it as I try to get up off the sofa and go put my feet up. But anyway, we would like.
Door frames are very useful.
There are no door frames within reaching distance here, but I know what you're saying. You can lean against things. But we would love to hear from all of you out there who have joined our show. I'm going to ask Kris in a minute. Hi, Kris, wherever you are. And we are going to, I mean, maybe, Kay, we might just be talking to ourselves. Might not be anybody joining us, but we'll, anyway. But that's fine too, right?
Yes.
But we'd love to hear from you about circumstances or situations that you yourselves have personally gone through, and anything you'd like to share with us where, despite the issues that you have, whether they're emotional, whether they're physical, despite the, the negatives of life, where you have just gritted your teeth and you've told yourself, I'm doing this, I'm going to do this. And your mind, the mind is the most powerful thing. Our thoughts are the most powerful thing we own. And using our thought process, using our mind, we can overcome so many things. For instance, I can't change the fact that my uh, back is crooked. It's just one of those things. I'm missing a rib. I'm missing all sorts of things. I've got all sorts of things sort of stuck in my left side that shouldn't be there. So I can't change that fact. But what I can do is I can change my attitude towards these things. Again, mind over matter. So I'm going to first of all ask Kris. Kris, is there anybody there?
Yes, we have plenty of people in the chat room.
We do? Great. So you know the rules, everybody. You have to join in, or we'll just cut you off, and Kay and I'll just spend the rest of the evening by ourselves. So you got to join in, you got to write something in the chat room or whatever it is. But we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear, if you have anything to share with us. I'm very, very upbeat, although very, very sad today because my daughter and grandson, they were only supposed to be here for a week. And then their plane was cancelled because of the all the snow blizzards in New York, and she couldn't get a flight out. So I ended up having her for almost 2 weeks here, and they left yesterday. So I am very upbeat because I've had a fantastic time with my children, my grandchild, and my child. We've been to the beach so many times. We have had we've had pina coladas, we've had good food, we've been, we've been in the pool, we've had such a great time. And last week the weather was absolutely perfect. But I'm also, very sad that, now I'm all by myself. This is a song, isn't there? I'm by myself, whatever it is. Anyway, and I'm what?
Don't get me singing.
No, don't sing, Kate. No, I've heard you sing. No, don't
Bad.
sing. Anyway, so Kate,
Yes.
do you have an example for us about when, mind conquered matter, or even when no matter how much you tried to be positive, you just you just couldn't make it because it doesn't always work.
Feel a bit sorry for yourself sometimes, don't you, when you sort of can't move much, or you've got bad shoulders and bad hips and bad knees, and you think one joint's all right and then the other one goes, and so you sort of start giving in and thinking, oh, I'll just spend another half hour in bed this morning, it's so nice. Then half the day's gone, you think, right, crack on, get moving. Don't want to, just give me a break. It's winter, I'm allowed to hibernate. No, that's no good. So I actually started thinking, right, mind over matter. When was the most energetic and the best I've felt? Lots of times through my life, I've got lots and lots, hundreds and thousands of wonderful memories of being so full of energy that I knew I was flying. I felt like I was flying. And I would just find one or two of these times, mostly involving my 3 girls and my then husband, on the farm with animals and with lots of countryside, running around in puddles of rain and mud and being absolutely free and fun. And I would think about those times, and it would carry me. And the actual thought of it, I feel lighter, I feel better, I've forgotten about the aches, I've moved forward without thinking about myself because I'm in another place doing another thing, and it's carried me through it. And I know that sort of positive affirmation of myself as a younger, more energetic person, I can bring it back and use it. And that's what I've been doing this week. So yeah.
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is, and this is a great idea, and I think it might be a good tool for people to be able to use that. What you've been doing is, you've been thinking about your memories, good memories, positive memories,
Yeah.
the times when you were perhaps younger or fitter, or you didn't ache as much, or what have you, or the times when you had warm, gentle, loving memories, or
Even
and
though, yes,
you've been using those memories, and then you are projecting your energy. You're using those memories to gather energy and then to project it
yes,
to towards your own self and your own mindset,
yes,
to make you feel better and
yes,
more capable and
yes,
and a happier person. So I think that's great, because it's it's a bit like when you say to someone, you need to cheer up, or you need to get a better attitude, or when people say those things to you, don't be like that, don't be sad, be happy, and all of these things that probably people say them to be nice to us, but then how do I do that?
yeah,
How what am I supposed to do to be happier? What am I supposed to do to take away the upset that I'm feeling, or this anxiety that I'm feeling? And it's a bit like me saying, well, not to you, Kay, because you're a cook, but it's like me saying to somebody who's never cooked, look, just go make a chocolate cake. And anybody who's got any sense at all would say, well, can you give me the recipe? And so we're always looking for ingredients, to make a good chocolate cake, or I've been making flatbread with Reese, with garlic butter with parsley, and it was so good. That was so good. It was so much fun and very, very messy, and we had such a good time. But we're always looking for the ingredients that we need to. It's all very well somebody saying, well, cheer up, but if you're not feeling cheerful, or if stuff is going on, or your back is hurting and
so you say, tell me how, don't you?
yeah, well, you do know it's all very well, but people will often say it's all very well for her to say cheer up, she's a cheerful person. What am I supposed to do? So we're always looking for tools that we can use. And I think that, using your memories, what you're suggesting is using your memories is a great way of sort of, let's say, yes, you go back in time, you remember those things, but I don't know, I'm sure you do the same thing, Kay. When I'm thinking about fun times or fun things, when I'm thinking about, I remember it was my 40th birthday. And I was so fed up. I hadn't made any plans. People had said to me, let's do something. And I'm grumpy. And I can remember standing in my kitchen with a mop and bucket, washing the kitchen floor, feeling really, really fed up and sorry for myself. And And a knock came at the door, and a friend said, "Come on, let's go out for a drink." And a group of my friends had organised a little surprise get together. So I got into the pub, really not feeling, like celebrating much. Not because I was 40. Being 40 never bothered me at all. But just I was just feeling a bit low, a bit grumpy, whatever. And I walked in, and there were all these people. They'd made me a cake and so on. When you think of these good memories, you think of things that other people did for you, for instance, I'm sure you do the same. As you're thinking these things, you can't help but smile. You can't help but feel good with the memory. And if you then project that feeling onto yourself in the here and now, when, yes, all right, I had to lay in bed an extra day. I couldn't get out of bed. But when you think about the memories, it helps to take the pain of stuff away. It helps to sort of drive you forward, and you can project that energy towards feeling better and feeling happier. So I think,
Yes.
going back in time and using your memories is it's a really great tool.
It's been very useful this past fortnight.
Good. So,
And will
Kris,
continue.
let's go to the chat room. Let's go to, is there anybody there?
Yes, Doreen answered when you asked, did anybody have any little stories? Doreen says her ear, the inner ear issue for a month. She's feeling very fatigued and feeling very sorry for herself now.
Okay, well, stop it. It's okay. Now, look, Doreen, I know that it must be a horrible thing. It must be an awful thing. There are a few things you can do. There is I don't know if he has any suggestions, but there is a great guy, Dr. Mandel, I've forgotten his first name. Anyway, not that it matters. Dr. Mandel, you go on YouTube, and if you write his name in and inner ear problems, he probably will suggest something for you for that. I'm sure that we hope that you've been to your doctor, because that's the first place you should be going. I do understand why these things, are difficult to deal with. But as we've just said, first of all, we will definitely send you some healing, sweetie. But the way to conquer these things is sort of a mind over matter thing. It won't necessarily relieve, like it certainly doesn't make the pain go away in my back to think of these things, but it actually makes it go away for moments in time. Because while I'm thinking of good memories, and while I'm thinking of my grandson and my daughter, and while I'm, this last week has been really difficult in a way for me, because they've been here, they want to go to different places. We went to Boca Grande. We spent the entire day on the beach. Just the idea of getting in the car and driving was just excruciating for me. So I had it in my mind that, I'm going to give them a good day no matter what, mind over matter. And we had a brilliant day. Now, I did suffer for it the next day. It was a bit, it was harder for the next day, but it was worth it for the day, because when we went out for dinner on Thursday night, and no, sorry, wait a minute, Wednesday night we went out for dinner, and we went to see the sunset, which was glorious. And then we went and had a really nice dinner at a great restaurant on the beach. And my grandson said, "So, what have been the best moments of the holiday?" And he said that one of the best moments for him was going to Boca Grande and spending the entire day at the beach, because we didn't leave there until around 4:30 in the afternoon. I tried really hard not to look like an old lady as I was walking back to the car. They carried everything, so I didn't. All I had to do was get myself to and from the car, and then I collapsed in bed. But it was great that he said to me, that was one of the best days of his vacation. So it was worth it to me to put aside mind over matter, using your mind, using the power of your mind, and focusing on the things that can move you away from the pain that you're in. I remember also in England, I actually a few years ago, and I collapsed, and I was rushed to the hospital, and I was in so much pain. They kept saying to me, pain level, is it, 1 to 10? Well, it was off the charts. It was like, they ended up eventually giving me morphine. But in the meantime, while I was waiting to be seen, I just literally, using my mind, using mind power. And we might be talking about this on the course that we're going to be doing, our not correspondence course. What is it, Kris? What is the
Subscription program.
subscription? Thank you. The subscription program, how to get yourself to a point where you can move, literally raising your level of consciousness. You can move out of that physical space wherein lies pain, heartache, whatever, but you can actually lift yourself out of that physical space and raise your level of consciousness to a point where you can, in my case, certainly can travel. And so in that moment in England, when I collapsed and I was in so much pain, I actually went with Grey Eagle, and that's a story for the subscription program. But that's what happened. I went with Grey Eagle, and we went into the teepee, and my body was doing its thing, and who cares, because I personally was not in my body. So it sort of gave me some relief. So there are lots of things that you can in fact do. But I think that Kay's idea of literally going back, taking yourself back to good times, times that made you smile, times that made you feel better, is certainly one of those ways to help with any kind of physical ailment or emotional or whatever. Kris.
So next we have Rhonda. Rhonda says, I use mind over matter several mornings. I wake up every morning and watch the sun come up. There are many mornings when I simply do not want to go out in the cold. On those days, I push myself and put on my coat, even though I have no intention of going out. But if I just put my coat on, I'll go.
I like that.
Yes, I understand.
That's good, right, Kay?
Yeah. Yeah.
We like that.
A step at a time, and you don't know where to take you.
Yes. It kind of like the recipe,
Yes, yes.
Do certain things, use certain ingredients to like the putting on the coat. Even though you've no intention of going out, if you put the coat on, you're more likely to go out than not. So I think that's a great step. I can remember one morning, Reese and Samantha wanted to go to the beach, and I'm smiling away, and I got my car keys out of the drawer, and then I got the bags to take to the beach, a step at a time, until eventually you're all ready to go, and then you go, because your mind is moving you forward despite what your body is telling you. And I know it doesn't always work. I'm not suggesting that, uh, you can, you can overcome, those crippling moments where, people suffer with all kinds of arthritis, for instance, or rheumatoid arthritis. But moving yourself into a space where you're thinking of other things, or you're trying to do other things, really does help, because even if it's only a momentary reprieve from focusing on the pain, it's still a reprieve. And this is what we have to do. And we have to take a minute here and a minute there to get those many reprieves that we need through the day. Kris.
Neil is asking, Rosemary, do you remember the 1960s song, Smile a Little Smile? It goes, Smile a little smile for me, Rosemary. What's the use in crying? These are the partial lyrics.
I do remember that song. I'm trying to remember the tune now. Smile a little smile for me. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Oh no, well, no. Well, you're younger than I am. I've forgotten. I'm so old. Yes, I do remember that
If you
song.
sing it,
And
if you
yes,
sing it, Mama.
and this is what we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, sort of smiling even when you can't. Again, I'm going to bring back a memory. I can remember working in a pub with a disgusting and disgraceful and nasty landlord who thought nothing of, you know,
Mm.
shoving a beer bottle up my backside and making lewd comments all the way through and trying his very best to. Oh, he was a horrible, awful man. Anyway, but I had no choice. I had to work because I had Samantha. We had no money. My husband had deserted us, so on and so forth. And I can remember going into the pub, and I had to go there every day because I would make lunches. I would make the quiches and the lunches and the potato salads and all of that. We had, you know, we had big buffet lunches every day, and what else? And at night time, I would work behind the bar, and I'd always have to go in on a Thursday because Thursday night was country western night, and we always used to have a band, and I was always smiling. And I can remember going in early one Thursday night, and there was this lovely couple. They were regulars, and they called me over. So Rosemary, come and sit with us a minute. And I came to sit with them, and they said to me, you know, we've been watching you. You treat the men and the women the same. You're not fawning all over the men. You treat everybody the same. And we've noticed you are always smiling. So we have decided you must be a really, really happy person. And I'm going to tell you that it was one of the darker days of my life, and really dark days. And it took everything in me to smile when I was at work. And I can remember coming home one day, sitting on the stairs, at the bottom of the stairs. I hadn't take my coat off, and I was sitting on the bottom of the stairs crying because my smile had been in place for hours and I could not take it off. It would not come off. And I was so upset because I was smiling and I couldn't do anything about it. And really, I'm telling you a true story here. But eventually, what happened was, I can remember once, sort of a while after that, what happened was I was driving in the car one day and I was listening to the radio and I was singing along to the radio, and I suddenly realized, hold on, it's real. The smile is real.
Hmm.
So, you know, you can move yourself through, and sometimes you have to do the hard stuff, like smiling when you really don't want to, like being a nice person when you really feel like being a grump. You have to move through the hard stuff, right, Kay, to get to the other side.
Always.
So
With the right attitude.
yeah, very much so. Well, you know, we have a show, Everything is Attitude with Al, which we're going to be doing at some point soon. I'm not sure what the calendar's looking like, but everything is about attitude. But nobody's saying it's easy, right? It's not easy.
No.
I remember what I always used to tell you as students. It's easy when it's easy, but it's not so easy when it's hard.
That's right.
Yeah.
What was it? You can walk the walk and you
You can talk the talk, but you
talk.
have to walk the walk.
Yes.
It's
an
very
entirely
easy.
different thing.
Yes, and it's easy to talk the talk. It's easy for me to say all of these things. It's easy for you to say, and this is what we do with the memories. It's easy to say it, but let's not give people the impression that it's an easy thing to do, because I'm sure you've been through it this last few weeks with one thing and another.
Wasting far too much time feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
So stop it. Okay.
We don't. we don't have time to waste, really, do we?
No,
So
no, we can't do
getting
it.
older and older,
it's
as my grandson would say, Mosey, you're such an old lady.
My 4-year-old grandson looked at me and he stood up in front of me, and he stood up and he put his arms out to one side and he started walking like a zombie. And I said, oh, like a fool. I said, oh, Alex, who are you being? He says, well, this is what you look like, Grandma, when you walk.
Oh no, really?
I thought, yeah, he's right. He's
And
right.
again, some people might take offense at that, but
No.
we have to. This is why we have cracking up, because I do have to say, I know I'm going to get everybody shouting at me now, but I will say right here and now that the British people, we British people, we do have the best, perhaps a little weird, yes, but we
Definitely
do have the best sense of humor in the world. And I know you can all shout at me and you can all argue with me, but I believe it's true. So,
I think
but
you're right.
again, just because we're saying it, you can talk the talk, but you've got to walk the walk. So there are so many people, there are so many therapists, there are so many doctors, there are so many people out there who have great advice, but do they ever take it themselves? So, you gotta not just talk the talk, but walk. Kris, how are we doing?
Z has a question for you.
Hi, Z.
Will you write a new book, Rosemary? I've read
Oh.
all of them quite a few years ago
Come on,
and
Rosemary.
felt enormous inspiration to tack into the spirit world. So,
Well,
you.
I do have a book in the works. Yes. It's a hard one. But I'm hoping that I can really get down to it. I've been procrastinating about this book for so long. And it's Wisdom from Great Eagle, and which is it's a really stunning, and he talks about if you can imagine every subject that we have on this earth, he has he gives us his advice, he gives us his wisdom, he talks about how we need to how we need to be, how we should think. He talks about how our angels see us and their opinions and so on. But it's a great book. It's a wonderful book. If I can just get myself together and sort it out, yes, there'll be a new book. But thank you for saying you've read all the books. You can also read them again. Because I love watching movies that Samantha said to me the other day, we watched a movie. She said, "Do you know how many times I've seen this movie?" And I've seen it several times, but I always think that there's always something that you might have missed the first time or the second time or even the third time, and all of a sudden, or you're in a frame of mind to hear things differently. So I always think, reading a book, I'm never worried about reading a book twice, especially if it's a good book. I'm never worried about reading it twice because there's always something else that I can learn from it. Do you find that correct, Kay?
Always, yeah, I do. I've become lazy, I'm afraid, because it's too easy not to read. Now I've got all these streaming platforms and my eyes aren't as good. So that's another thing that I've got to take myself in task about, because I've got so many books, big books I want to reread, books I know that I've really loved. And it actually frustrates me watching the streaming things because it's too easy to be entertained. There's no processing myself when I'm being fed all this wonderful information and all this slick dialogue. And there's no conversation in my head that's saying, oh, reread that again, and what does that mean? So it's very nice, very relaxing, and I'm very susceptible to watching too much
Well,
stuff. But reading is better for you.
it's like AI, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody's using it.
No.
Somebody said to me the other day, they're programming it now to take over lots of different jobs. And I know my daughter in her work, she's been very badly affected by it. Everybody wants the machines. And I mean, we have to be so careful because we lose the power of thought. We lose the power of thinking for ourselves. We lose the power of working things out for ourselves.
Your mind becomes lazy. It becomes
Yeah. I mean, I know that there are people, and I have very good friends whose kids, they go to school, they have a problem or they have a question that under let's say normal circumstances years ago, you'd have to research, you'd have to go to the library, or you'd have to look it up. Now you Google it and you've got the answer in seconds, or you ask Alexa or Siri or whatever. You can use to ask, and the information is at your fingertips. So we're not using this anymore. We're not using our mind and our mind power anymore. And that to me is very, very scary. That's really scary.
What scares me about it is that it's so instant and it's so there and available, and everything is dumbed down now, so that you're reading something that you're assuming is a fact. It's not a fact. It's somebody's thought that's been derived from something else and something else. So it's been watered down and watered down.
But it's not.
It's nothing. It might be a fact, but it's not always the right fact in the right context.
I know. And when you're researching and you're using your mind to research or to think about things or to think through things or to think through processes, you're learning so much more. Just to, click of a fingers and there somebody else is giving you the information. It's somebody else's information.
Yes.
It's not what you have learned. And that to me is the scariest thing, because I think at some point, the people are going to lose their jobs. Machines are going to take over. And I know it sounds weird, it sounds like weird sci-fi stuff, but we're on the brink of that happening. Kris, let's see what we have in the chat room.
Well, Karen says, or she agrees, saying Brits do have a good sense of humor.
Best. I did say the best. Oh, good. Thanks, Karen.
Patricia says, I've read 3 of your books, The Eagle and the Rose, Proud Spirit, and Soul Signs. I loved The Eagle and the Rose and Soul Signs. I found myself definitely an earth sign. I believe I'm a hunter, which I'm not too happy about because it's a negative sign, as you've said. It's the sign of Donald Trump.
Oh.
Well, I actually think about Donald Trump. I'm really going to blow your mind now. There is so much about Donald Trump that it really, is definitely questionable. But my goodness, does he have power, and does he ever use it? And talk about mind power. He's a great example of mind power and using mind power. And you should be very careful when you are, looking at the people, especially people, in the spotlight. They seem to be one thing, and you don't always see the depth of them, and you don't always see the what's going on inside of them. So we need to be very careful about judging. And if I would love to be like Donald Trump. I would like to be a little bit nicer kind of version of Donald Trump, but look at what he's achieved. I mean, good gracious. And Kris, I know, is listening to this, because Kris is a hunter soul through and through, right, Kris?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you happy? Are you happy with that?
I definitely don't feel like it's a negative. No. I think anybody who has me on their team is going to get what they need to get.
That's exactly right. whether you like it or not. Yeah. Yes. There are so many positives about Hunter Souls that are brilliant and really brilliant. And, you
But
know,
I'm a bright star. She
you
says,
are.
bright star, really, really. Anyway,
She's a fire
I'm
sign.
a
Kay
fire
is a
sign.
fire sign.
I'm a right-handed fire sign, bright star. My 2 lasting relationships ever in my life have been Hunter Souls, earth energy, left hand earth energy. It's very strange. Very strange. I don't know how it happened. Don't know how it happened.
Well,
It's not. Sorry, go on.
okay. So, for those of you who are wondering what on earth we're talking about soul signs and energy, different energies, and some energies are more compatible than others. And probably for an earth sign, which is me, like our last caller. So I'm an earth sign, very much so. I'm a warrior. And Kay is a fire sign. And earth signs and fire signs, let's put it this way, okay? Fire scorches earth. If it's allowed, if fire signs get to have too much control, or they get too much in the way, which they do tend to do because they're burning very brightly, they can scorch earth. However, earth can put out a fire like that. All you got to do is throw earth over the fire and it's done. It's over with. So they are probably the least compatible. However, having said that, when you have respect for someone and when you care about someone and when you sort of, this is why I'm saying be careful about judging people, be careful about judging, you know, the Donald Trumps of this world, and I'm trying to think of somebody else, but just be careful about judging people who seem to be like a little bit too much, because they have a depth to them often that we don't always see. But Kay and I, the least compatible energies. How long have we known each other?
42 years.
And she's my closest. She's
Since 82.
Yeah, so she's my closest and best friend, and that's more than 42 years, I think.
Yeah, it is actually.
Whatever it is, 44.
44.
I know, we're that old, so who knew? Anyway,
Yeah.
but we are she's my closest friend. I can't speak for her, but she is my closest and oldest friend, and I love her to pieces. And yes, there are times when she has scorched me so badly, but you know what? When somebody scorches me, watch out, because I'm going to put you out.
I didn't get up for a week.
So, you do make these things work, provided there is that respect and there is that, love. You can make these things work. Kris.
All right. Rhonda says, let me see. I've read all your books. The only one I haven't got through is Soul Signs. I get confused. It seems I'm a bit of all soul signs.
Yes, you are. But you see, Rhonda, listen, what do I say throughout the book? There is this golden key to that book. And the key is, first, find your soul group. And within each group, there are 3 soul signs. So when you look at them, if you know your group, that's easy. That's the easiest part. One of the 3 of the soul signs you will definitely not be. And then the other 2, you'll go back and forth a little bit before you decide. But people forget what I say, because what you do is you read them all. They read all of the signs. This is not about horoscopes and whatever that is. Anyway, it's not about star signs or anything. This is a whole different thing. It's about energy, which is why it's so important. Before you read all of the soul signs and all of the, you've got to first of all decide which group you're in, and it's simple. You are an earth, fire, water, air, or sulfur. And we discount the sulfur because if you're listening to this program, you're definitely not a sulfur sign. So there are 4 main soul groups. You find the one that you are in, that you fit the most, and then you've only got 3 choices. So, so that's the golden key is your soul group first, and then your soul sign. Kris.
Well, we don't really have any questions left. Doreen, who is having a tough time at the beginning of the show, popped in and said, I'm enjoying this live stream so much.
That's nice.
Eric is on and he says, dreaming soul here.
Oh, little fire sign. Yes, that's good.
Neil says, I believe in miracles, but I don't have much of a story for anything. I've gotten over many hills, though.
Well,
many troubles.
That's great. I can remember once, well, actually, it's been said to me many times, but I remember the first time that I heard Grey Eagle say, I was in Hong Kong and I was with a family who they were struggling and they were, and I was applying it to my own daughter because at that time she was sort of a teenager, and a real pain in the backside and really sort of coming into her own, which, is a good thing, but it's not necessarily an easy thing to deal with. And I remember Grey Eagle saying, and this applies to all of us. If we meaning when he says we, meaning those in the spirit world, meaning those wise people, meaning that God force, that, that incredible God force that is out there and touches all of us. If we were to smooth your path and leave no wrinkles, where would your learning be? We need a rough path. We need hurdles to climb over. This is why we're here. We need to be tested. We need to be pushed. We need to have to deal with, the different difficulties, emotional, physical, whatever. We need those things because they're the things that push us, and they're the things, unfortunately, it's a bit like when you go to school, the teacher you remember the most, and the teacher that you learned the most from is usually the harridan of a teacher who's the toughest on you, but pushes you to the point where you remember what she or he is telling you. So, so life is like that. And remember, Grey is saying, if we were to smooth your path and leave no wrinkles, where would your learning process be? So as much as I have often cried for my daughter, wish things were different for my daughter, as much as I have, as much as I, wish for my grandson to have a wonderful, smooth and easy life, I know that in order for them to learn and to grow, they will have to climb mountains, or as somebody just said, you've climbed a few hills, and every time you climb the hill, and it's really, really hard work climbing up there, and sometimes the hill feels like a giant mountain. But when you get to the top, you've exerted yourself, but then you're going down the other side, and you've learned so much in the climbing and in the struggle that you've gone through. And, it's, it's something that we all of us need to remember. Kay, do you have any comments about that before we go back to the chat room?
Oh, yeah, just to keep remembering to remember the lessons that you should have learned and not to have to keep relearning them. That's so frustrating.
Yeah, well, that's why we keep getting ourselves into the same situations over and over
Yes.
again.
Yes.
But
What's the definition of crazy? Yeah.
yeah. I think that the best people are just a little bit crazy, don't you think?
Oh, I hope so.
That's why we get on so well, because people, let me tell you, she is crazy.
Bonkers.
She's a little bit more than a little bit crazy.
Oh, I hope so.
I know. Me too.
You know
Me
what?
too.
It's so freeing, isn't it? It's lovely.
Oh yeah, I know. I always used to tell you all a little secret about my friend Kay here. I always used to wonder, sometimes because she's a fire sign and I'm an earth sign. Remember, so we sort of don't necessarily sort of get each other's energy always. But
No.
there were times when I would wonder, is there something about her that's missing? Is she is a little bit of something missing,
But
or does she have something extra? And I think it's true to say that you do have
a bit
something
more,
extra.
I know.
You have something extra.
I'm sorry that you're just so slow in catching up. I've always known that.
I've known it for a long time, but I did used to wonder at one point, is there something
Well, I
missing?
can understand because I do surprise myself at times.
So funny. Right. Okay, Kris, we're cracking up here.
Oh,
Go on.
God. How many times have you said that on these shows? Oh, dear.
No.
Rhonda
Kris?
says, I'll get into the book again and find my group. Thank you, Rosemary. That helps.
Be a good girl and read what I tell you when remember the golden rule. I mean, I say it often enough throughout the book, and then it's so interesting because, you read all the different soul signs and you can tell it's often easier to figure out what somebody else is rather than what you are. But the idea is first find your soul group. Are you water, air, fire, or earth, as am I?
For my family, it's the most important book. The three girls and I are always referring to it.
Yeah, because and also when you meet other people, or when you have situations at work, or when you meet, why does your boss get on with so and so? Seems to like them but doesn't like you. It's all about energy and compatibility. Why does my mother love my brother more than she loves me? Why do my father and I get on so much better than than I get on with my sisters? Everything is about energy, and soul signs it's a little bit like a Bible. You go back and forth and you look at it and you can. It really helps you to understand people, don't you think, Kay?
Yes,
Really,
it is, absolutely.
It really helps.
Just wanting everybody to know it. Everybody should have this.
Yeah, I think so. Kris, anything else?
Eric has a couple of things to say.
I'm so glad, Eric, that you're on tonight, because I've got a couple of things to say to you. But let's do Eric first. Let's hear what Eric.
Very much looking forward to the subscription program to begin. He's questioning what soul signs are Reese and Samantha, and also saying happy birthday month to Reese.
Oh, thank you. I did get your email that you're enjoying your birthday month, and Reese is definitely enjoying his birthday month. And I can tell you what Samantha is, because she wouldn't mind at all. She is an earth sign, and she is a central soul. She's a visionary soul. So she's an earth sign like me. So we're either really, really compatible and we really understand each other really well. Reese will often say, Mummy Mosey, you're just the same. You're just the same. But Samantha is a visionary, and I'm a warrior. And well, you might know that we did also produce a wonderful little earth sign in Reese because he's just amazing. And we're going to wait and see how he develops. I know what he is, but I'm not going to tell anybody else. But he has to figure it out for himself. But he's so much like his mom, and he's so much like me that it's scary in a way. It's really scary, and he has the very best sense of humor. He really is so quick and so quick-witted. It's so funny to have him here. He'll look at me and I know you're going to all be horrified when I tell you this, right? So occasionally when he sort of was younger, particularly in his 30, just turned 13, and sometimes you're sitting next to a kid and they've eaten something, and you hear a little pop here and a little pop there, and I'll look at him and I'll say, "Are you having a farty party down there?" he'll just look at me and he'll grin. But now he'll say to me, "Mosey, are you having a farty party?" Well, you're old, aren't you? He just does it. He just does it to wind me up. Now, Eric, I was looking at my cactus and it's looking okay. And I was talking to it this morning, stroking it a little bit this morning. So I just want you to know it's looking healthy, but nothing's happening yet. I know it's far too soon, but Eric sent me a very special cactus which I'm nurturing and hopefully doing the right thing with. But anyway, okay. Anything else going on, Kris?
Neil wants to know what you think of Edgar Casey.
Oh, well, Edgar Casey is very well known for his work. I was actually at the Edgar Casey Institute. I was asked to speak there a few years ago, and a group of us went down there. It's a great place to go, nice beach and everything. So, but yes, well, he was, uh, an amazing, I think, an amazing guy, and he had definitely had an amazing gift. His gift was not as mine is mediumship. His gift was more about being, diagnostic. He could look at people and literally say, what was wrong with them, or he could visualize what was wrong with them. He was amazing. He was an amazing guy. We have another guy similar, and all I can think of is his last name, Edwards. What's his name?
Harry.
Harry Edwards, right. Who was also, thank you, who was also an amazing, amazing healer, British guy, similar in many ways to Edgar Casey, but yeah. I was actually, because I was asked to be a speaker there, and I shouldn't tell anybody this, but I actually was taken into the back room where they keep all the files that nobody's allowed to touch, and I was allowed to touch. I was allowed to peek in to see all of the files that on Edgar Casey and the work that he did. Amazing. Keep going, Kris.
Eric's response is patience. Roots grow first, then the tops.
I know. I knew you'd tell me that. I'm not really expecting too much. It was just that I was stroking it this morning, talking to it, and sort of, having a little. I was watering my cactus and so on, and I have this. I don't know where. I think I found it on YouTube. Coffee. You make coffee and then you strain it, and then you can use the coffee on plants. I don't know what it gives to the plants, but it seems to be working okay. So we shall see. Anyway, this is not a program about gardening, Eric, but Eric, if anybody wants any tips, go to Eric's website. What is it, Kris?
GardenerExtraordinaire.com.
Oh, good. I'll Look at that.
So anyway, you can always go there for any gardening tips, and he's great.
Last one. One of your students from Great Britain is on, saying hello to both Rosemary and Kay. It's Simon.
Hey, Simon, how are you? Right.
Nice.
Does Simon have a question, or is he just saying hello?
At the moment, just hello.
Okay, well, we're loving it, aren't we? We love to have him on. Do you want to say anything to Simon, Kay?
Yeah, come on. Give us something, Simon.
What do you mean, give us something? You mean ask your
Talk to
question?
us. Talk to us. Yes. Come on, don't sit there. Don't be lazy.
Now, don't you be mean to Simon.
You're not being mean to Simon. It's great.
He is great. He is. He was one of my, I don't think Simon ever saw the real me. Well, no, he saw the real me. But he came in after quite late as a student. And I think my other students couldn't believe how nice I was to him.
How nice you were.
Do you remember? Because would you like to tell people? Go on, give it your best shot, Kate. No, I want you to give it your best shot.
Absolutely not.
As a student at the beginning, describe your teacher, which is me. Come on, give it your best shot now. Go for it. Be as honest as you can be, because it's important, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So go on.
What, the very early years, the first years?
Go for it.
Terror. But
when you say terror, what do you mean? You mean you felt terror?
Get in the car to go. Get in the car to go to Rosemary's. Why am I doing this? I am compelled. I have to go. I'm curious. Right. Get there. Everybody's excited. You sit around, you start the class, and you can see that everybody's knuckles are white. No, I'm being silly. I'm being silly because the teaching, the learning, the whole atmosphere was something that most people don't have the opportunity to have. And we knew instinctively, all of us that had been there and stayed or didn't stay for whatever reason, knew that it was a very special learning process. But it took energy and guts, tenacity and self-belief to stay with the course. It really did, I think.
That's from the students' point of view.
That's from the students.
From
and
the teacher's point of view, it took tenacity. From the teacher's point of view, it took tenacity and tremendous patience. But if you remember earlier on in the show, you always remember the tough teacher, and you remember what the tough teacher said to you.
Yes.
And I honestly think, without a doubt, I'm one of the toughest teachers.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, I haven't had any others of your caliber. I haven't been ever needed to go looking. There was never any doubt in my mind I was in the right place. And over
44 years, we decided.
Yeah, it's never altered. It's always the same.
But I remember when all the Brits came over, and I started doing this in America, and then we got students in America, and all the Brits were looking at each other saying about me, what's wrong with her? What's going on? Why is she so nice to them? What's the matter with her?
Why is she so
Americans couldn't take the heat like the Brits could. The Brits are tough. We take the heat. But having said that, we have had some amazing American students, fantastic American students. I mean, Kris being one of them. Kris, how long have you been with us? Been with me?
Since the year 2000.
26 years.
Wow.
and I can't get rid of her. You know, when you've got gum stuck to your shoe, you just try and try to get
She
it
said
off.
the same. She said the same to me, Kris. Don't worry.
But we keep coming back, Kay, don't we?
Yes.
Precisely, gum on the shoe. Do we have any final comments from anybody? Because I know we're getting close to time now, but
We're actually over time. Simon says he remembers. And let me see, there was something else he said that was kind of funny.
Oh, that's nice.
He was describing you. There you go. Stern.
very stern.
And
Slowly stern.
Neil says, I want you to know I'm so happy and glad you arrived in the 1990s. I hope Grey Eagle will let you know.
Oh,
I think
thank
it's
you.
a miracle that you're still alive in 2026.
Thank you. It's a miracle that I'm still alive and still laughing.
Yes. Yes. It is.
That's so funny, Neil. Thank you. All right. Anything else, Kris, before
No?
we? Okay. Well, all
Can I
right.
just
Well,
say the teaching is something that we still miss in that, not because we're not getting it, but because of the time that we had it and the way that it was there. It was quite intense, and it lasted quite a long time, but the learning was extraordinary. I hope.
well, thank you for, I think. Thank you for that, I think. Well, all right. So, thanks for that, Kay. This is it, everybody. Our time is up. Kay and I will be still chatting, and we might let Kris come in. You never know. I mean, who knows? Anyway, once we're done with this, we'll have a few minutes together. But we thank you so much, Gregor and I. We thank you so very much for joining us. We thank you. We hope you've had fun. We hope you've laughed as we've laughed. We hope you've learned a little. We hope that we've inspired you a little. And, you might want to try what Kay suggested, which is, going down memory lane. I will say that when I'm sitting with someone in the hospital who is dying, often on life support, they have their family around them. The family often includes me in this. What I try to do to people is I try to take them down memory lane, and I will ask a brother or a sister, what did you used to do when you were younger? And I remember once in hospital, we had a whole crowd of family around, and our patient was my lovely friend Sheldon, and suddenly we're all sitting there and we're going down memory lane and we're talking. We knew that Sheldon could hear us, and they were telling me all sorts of the antics that they used to get up to when they were younger. And at some point, a nurse, one of the nurses, senior nurses, came with a doctor and pulled back the curtain to ask us if we were all right, because we were having so much fun. We were laughing, we were going down memory lane, and it took away or helped to take away the sadness of the situation. So, laughter is very important, and memories are very important to us and very helpful. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Kris, once again for great facilitating. Thank you to all of you. Please, everybody, whatever time it is there, and for some of you, I know it's going into Saturday morning, please have a very blessed rest of the day and have a very blessed weekend, everybody. Hopefully, we shall see you maybe next Thursday when I do my what is it? Oh, the spirit world sees all. That's right. In the meantime, thank you, Kay. Did a great job as always, and thank you to all of you for your support and for joining us. We hope you had as much fun as we did.